Hi there. My name is Brad Seal, and I am one of the millions of job seekers that are out there today. And I am doing a series called Know Your Job Seeker, where I take the multitude of personality or strength assessment tests that I've taken over the years, and I review them with you using what they derived about me, and we'll find out how accurate they are or what I think about them. The first one I'm doing today is called the Strength Finders. Now, the Strength Finders is derived from a psychologist named Donald Clifton. This model right here is a collection of 34 different themes, and I'm not going to go over all 34 with you, but they do exist in 4 different domains. And these 4 domains are strategic thinking, relationship building, influencing, and executing. And the idea is that you take a questionnaire and all your answers are derived into 5 of the strongest of the 34 themes that describe you the best. So I took this test a while back and we wrote them down right here. My 5 strongest themes, the first one on there is adaptability. Now, adaptability is in the relationship building domain, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't need a rigid or predictable job. I can change as the circumstances do. This comes in very handy in client building where they need something different all the time, or maybe you're in charge of a team of different individuals and you need to attend to their needs as the day goes on. That's part of my ability to adapt, so to speak, and it's part of the relationship building domain for that reason. So that's my first strength, according to Strength Finders, is adaptability. Now, the second one on here is called woo. Woo, which stands for winning others over. It's in the influencing domain. Basically, I'm an extrovert. I talk to people, I like to connect with them, and I enjoy bringing them over to my way of thinking. Very useful in either a teaching or a sales role. Again, influencing domain. Makes sense. The third one on here, empathy. Now, that was the first one where I wasn't so sure about. I have empathy. I'm not a sociopath, but I wasn't sure how it manifested itself in my job. But I figured it out, which is I'm good at inclusion. When I'm in a group, I am very good at making sure everybody is involved in what we're doing, because you get the most out of people if they have a stake in what's going on. And I am very good at figuring out if somebody's feeling left out or just don't feel like they're part of anything. So I can notice that and I bring people in very well. Again, it's part of the relationship building theme. You'll notice a trend with that as we go on. The fourth strength that I supposedly have, according to this, is called connectedness. Surprise, it's in the relationship building category. It's a theme I didn't quite grasp when I first read it. It's not a word you usually hear used, but I feel that connectedness means I'm good at cutting through little differences and finding a common theme with people, which is big in this global economy that we have, where you might have different religions or different nationalities. I can find a narrative thread that we share in between there, which again can be very useful when you're relationship building, hence why connectedness is in the relationship building category. And then the fifth and final strength, according to Strength Finders, is called futuristic. Again, not a normal word that you hear every day, but it's in the strategic thinking domain. And from what I understand about it, it's not so much big picture thinking as it is down the road thinking. And what that means is that I have an imagination. I can see the forest when I'm just looking at a tree, and it means I'm sometimes probably in my head, but it also means that I can see the end game of what we're trying to do, and I don't get caught up in the minutia along the way. So futuristic, being able to see down the line and just envision things. So those are my 5 strengths according to Strength Finders. My review of it is that I did enjoy the Strength Finders test taking it, because it gave me 34 different themes. And I enjoyed that because it didn't try to encapsulate me with one word or one description. It gave me a multitude of different ways to go about it, so I can see myself in there and not just trying to derive one definition that it gave me. Now, just like any of these tests, the downside is that when you're filling out these multiple questionnaires, you're doing so in a vacuum. And that means that you have to be very honest with yourself. You have to know yourself very well, or else you may not get the correct answers. And that can happen sometimes. There are people out there that think they come across one way and they don't. And everyone else in the group looks at them and goes, "You got what? That doesn't make any sense." So I like the strength finders for icebreakers or for a training and development starting area, but it does need to be followed up with a class or training session, because there will be some further explanations needed on how employees can apply it, and if it makes sense to them, and how maybe it may not make sense to them when they read it, is what I'm trying to say, and how you can find them in this strength. So if I were giving myself advice, I would say that I should find a job that involves relationships, so team building, development, coaching, counseling, even sales, which happens to be what I'm good at and what my history is. So if you have a position there that needs a relationship builder, someone who can connect everybody, give me a shout, because I'm here to help. If you have any questions, write me. I'll be happy to talk about it with you. Thank you, everybody.